You have commissioned your servants to administer our city. Assist them with your wisdom in today's discussions. We ask your continued blessing on them and on our city. May the common good be served as we stay mindful that it is your work that we do, your people we serve. We pray also for beneficial weather, for the needs of the most vulnerable, and we give thanks for your many blessings. Amen.
Is there anyone else that would like to come up for public input? If not, we'll close public input and move on to the consent agenda. Are there any items that anyone would like to remove from the consent agenda?
Mr. Mayor, item D, I just have a few questions.
Okay. Are there any other items to be removed from the consent agenda? If not, I will take a motion to pass minus item D.
So move.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Roll call vote.
Chenoweth?
Aye.
Johnson?
Aye.
McNay?
Aye.
Munsell?
Aye.
O'Brien?
Aye.
Motion passes. Dawn, if you'd like to take it
Sure.
away.
And this is the final payment for,
Oh, I guess I can read it off so everyone knows what we're talking about. Sorry. So item D says approval of change order number 1 reflecting an increase of $43,751.48. Change order number 2 reflecting an increase of $6,200, making a new contract construction amount of $548,274.22 and final payment in the amount of $99,783.75 to Heckert Construction Company Incorporated for the 2017 Street Improvements Project.
I was just curious, so these change orders are being presented at the same time the final payment request is being made?
Correct.
So were these presented earlier, or the change orders came about as the project was finishing?
The change orders came about through a discussion with the county. They had their bridge project that was right at the end of our project, and it made sense for us to go ahead and, as part of the same project, finish the paving through that. And they agreed that they would pay that additional cost there. So the net cost of the city on that change order would be $0.
Okay. I found it a little unusual that change orders are presented at the same time as final payment, but it's just the timing of the project?
Correct.
Okay. That answers my question.
Is there a motion on item D?
I move to approve item D.
My second.
Been moved and seconded. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion passes. All right, special presentations. Economic Development Quarterly Report. Director of Economic Development, Blake Benson, and Pittsburg State University Chief Strategy Officer, Sean Nacarado, will present the Quarterly Economic Development Report. Sean and Blake.
All right, thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of the commission. As your economic development team, Sean and I, representing Pittsburg State and the Pittsburg Area Chamber of Commerce, will come to you regularly with updates on a few of the things we're working on in terms of economic development. And we've tried to be brief. As a former commissioner told me, last time Sean and I went on for about 35 minutes, and he said, you know how Jamie comes up and says green is good and red is bad? You need to take a lesson from Jamie. So
That's not what this means, though.
That's not what this means. Yeah, no. Yeah.
In this case, green and red are both good.
Yeah, so I don't know if you have any words
Kind
of
of a
welcome,
salmon
Sean?
color.
Well, I would,
Sorry. It's kind of a salmon color.
yeah. Well, I would say this is my first opportunity to stand before the new commission, and so for those who have not heard Blake and I come up here and prattle on for 35 minutes, you'll believe that from now on this is how it's supposed to be. For those of you who have seen the other ways, I guess you'll get to determine which one's better. But congratulations to those who I've not been able to say congratulations to yet. As Blake indicated, we're both very excited to be part of this team and leading these efforts. We have a lot of great things going on in Pittsburgh right now that are the envy of not only the whole state of Kansas, but I think could be the envy of the entire nation, and it wouldn't happen without the partnership that we have. So if we start on the green side with regard to business attraction, recently, just since the beginning of the year, Our economic development team has responded to 2 separate prospect leads and met those with proposals since the beginning of the year. We actually, I think, currently maybe looking at the third. Part of our team at the university will be attending the National Plastics Expo in Florida, which will occur in, I can't remember if that's March or April. They'll have an opportunity there to meet with, it's the largest plastics exposition in the country, and we have a number of graduates that are working at many of those companies, and in fact, we're going to have a guerrilla gathering there, wherein we're going to incorporate economic development to talk about telling the good news of why those folks who have felt they needed to leave for some time need to come home now. It's a great time. So we'll be hosting some of those sorts of things. We also are working on, you want to talk about the third thing?
Yeah, as our building inventory really is shrunk quite a bit, which is a good thing. We don't have a lot of empty buildings sitting around our community. We're going to be much more aggressive this year in not only locating the available buildings that we have in our community, we're going to be much more aggressive in pushing those outside of our community and not just waiting for people to find us. Really looking, targeting business brokers in Kansas City, Tulsa, the larger metro areas that may be looking to make an investment in a community like Pittsburgh. So I think you'll see us be much more aggressive and forward-facing in 2018. Yeah, 2 of our bigger projects, Kendall Packaging and Apex Stages. Kendall Packaging has announced April 5th will be the ribbon cutting and big grand opening for their $9 million expansion. Apex Stages is coming along very well with construction in the Airport Industrial Park. That should be done by the second quarter of this year as well. 2 projects combined, $10 million investment and 30 new jobs on the higher end. Those jobs are paying anywhere around $21 an hour on the upper end. So I think the exciting thing is that they're not just jobs for the sake of jobs, they're higher paying jobs. So obviously very excited about that. Just to lead into the child care capacity issue, that's something that came to us from Imagine Pittsburgh 2030. We moved the conversation forward. Commissioner McNay was there in December with a lunch meeting with area business leaders that are telling us that this is an issue for them. So we're really going to make some progress in 2018, trying to look at some possible solutions because it is something that is not only affecting our ability to attract new people to the community, it's affecting our businesses' efforts to attract and retain the skilled workforce that they need. And people are choosing to live in other communities instead of Pittsburgh, so we will make some very good progress this year on the child care capacity issue.
Also on business retention and expansion, this also does touch on startup activity and entrepreneurship as well. One of our key lanes within University Strategic Initiatives is Enterprise PSU. That'll be one of the teams that relocates to Block 22 in August. Right now, that team is working on a schedule for the entire year that will help to existing businesses to look at helping them to grow via programs such as QuickBooks. Some things that might seem simple to some, complicated to others, but ways to help improve their business, help grow their businesses, whether that's a 1 or 2 person shop or up to 500, that they could use some help on that. Energy programs, energy efficiency audits, and those sorts of things that we're going to be scheduling out for the year, again, to help startups and entrepreneurs. Speaking of Block 22, obviously a big focus of Block 22 is with regard to our focus on startup and entrepreneurship activity. We are quickly hurtling toward an August 1st open, and knock on any piece of wood that you can find, I am confident that we are going to open on August 1st. One of the most exciting recent development has been we have signed letters of intent with 3 new food concepts, 3 new businesses that will occupy the west side. We've got a few funding hurdles we still have to overcome for those LOIs that come into fruition, but one of those includes actually a California-based but multi-state restaurant group led, one of the leaders of which the 2 partners was a Pitt State grad. Great example of the way that marketing can make a difference. He played baseball here. One of his baseball teammates called him and said, hey, you know, Pitt State's doing this Block 22 thing and they need great food. You should call them. And he called, and we just hosted them for 2 days last week. He and his partner, who had never been in Pittsburgh, Kansas, he was from Pennsylvania, and we convinced, I think, both of them. I think one already knew that, but the one from Pennsylvania, we convinced him that this is a great place to invest, and they're looking at substantial investment in this, which could bring jobs as well as a environment downtown Pittsburgh that will help to spur creation and also that environment that we need, that some of those intangible things that Blake alludes to as well. So very excited about that, and can't wait to get the thing open.
Absolutely. So with that, we know that you as commissioners, often you get questions about the economy, individual projects, and we wanted to obviously leave enough time for Q&A for you to ask any questions that you may have.
I did see, I don't have a question in particular. I did see on the news the other night that PSU has a website or something for students to look at the apartments in Block 22. You want to?
That is correct, Commissioner. We actually are launching our housing website to start, for the students to start to get a little bit of glimpse, actually registering their interest. We're getting a lot of requests every day. It's very exciting. I can't wait for you guys, you folks, to see what these interiors are going to look like. It will be like nothing else in this community. Authentic, relevant, real, and sort of timeless, but also modern. It's going to be like nothing else in this community, and it's so exciting. I think we're going to have a situation wherein there's going to be a lot more than 97 students who want to live down there, and then also be in a place where hopefully long term our intent is we will be able to take applications from those students that they're interested in business, technology, and the arts, so there could be a creative community right there in downtown Pittsburgh. So it's really exciting. Every building will look different. One of the things the developer told us is that usually we have 5 main floor plans, but you really have 23 different floor plans in 4 buildings and only 97 units. It's because everyone is unique. They're incorporating both the past and the present and the future, and so pretty exciting. So our students are, I think, very excited about getting in there.
We're excited to have them downtown.
No other questions? Thank you for the opportunity to.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so I've been told that our second special presentation is going to be rescheduled, so we'll be not doing that this evening. So we'll move on to the regular agenda. Consider the following: the Downtown Advisory Board appointments / reappointment. Consider staff requests to reappoint Heather Horton to a second 2-year term and appoint 3 individuals to first 2-year terms as members of the Downtown Advisory Board, effective immediately and to expire on December 31st, 2019. Jay?
We have gotten formal applications from 2 members, or for two citizens for appointment to the Downtown Advisory Board. We haven't gotten a third yet. There's one more, but we would like, since we're here and it's on the agenda, to appoint. Well, actually, we need 4 total, but Heather and Michael Finan and Zach Dickey, all right, to the Downtown Advisory Board. All of them fit within the parameters of Downtown Advisory Board membership, own businesses, live there, representative of that body, and they're appropriate for that purpose. So we'll bring you one. We're going to bring you one more right after this. So that's what we're asking you to act on tonight.
So you're asking for a motion to approve your candidates?
Those 3 appointments.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Thank you, Jay. Design Services Agreement, Runway 4-22 seal coat and remarking. Staff is requesting governing body approval to award design services for the seal coat and remarking of runway 4-22 to H.W. Lochner of Lenexa, Kansas, in the amount of $45,700. Cameron.
This is an agreement for Lochner to perform the design to meet all the FAA standards. There'd be a supplemental one later after the award or after the contract in order to do construction services. But this would enable us to get the project out for bid and eligible for the grant.
Who's paying for this, Cameron?
The way the FAA is set up, grants like this, we've received a go letter, which tells us that we're anticipating funding. It won't be available until the next fiscal year, so the city's fronting the cost of the engineering. Once the grant's officially awarded, we'll get reimbursed 90% of that. So initially, you're looking, I believe, at $45,700 out of pocket now. Once the project is done with the grant. The total the city will be out is about 35.
There's no further questions. I move to approve.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thanks, Cameron. Non-agenda reports and requests.
I think we're doing pretty good. Two things I'll bring up briefly. One, at the next commission meeting, we're gonna recommend having another work session on communication. We have new commissioners. You just saw on January 23rd, a quarterly report for 2018 from the Economic Development Group. So obviously, you can't do a quarterly report 23 days into a new year. So that was either the year-end report from last year, which it didn't look like. We'd like to give you guys updates, I believe, monthly, but really what we want to know is from you, what's your expectation? We have my weekly report, we have the staff's weekly report we can give you, we have an HR weekly report that we requested from last year's commission. So we just kind of like to have a short 15, 20-minute discussion about your expectations so we can make sure that you're getting the information you want. And the second thing, good news for everybody that's got a kid in the high school or anybody that drives on 4th Street. We've had a pretty successful week through the leadership of Representative Monica Bernan, who is our former mayor and commissioner, and Superintendent Destry Brown, and Brian Gower, who's the KDOT transportation lead up in Topeka. We had another meeting last week with the District 4 representatives. It looks like we have come up with a 4-pronged solution for 4th Street in front of the high school. It will involve, in the short term, school speed zones and reworking the traffic flow within the actual USD 250 property right there, so the buses don't come in and go out, but they actually come in and go through and head over. Longer term, you're looking at a traffic signal. It will not be put in at 4th and Free Kings, but a 4-way traffic stop sign arrangement will be used in order to give the buses a way to get back. And then longer term, we are looking at a roundabout that hopefully I can tell you this, it's only gonna come about if we can get to the federal highway monies that KDOT said they would help us apply for. That's probably a $3 or $4 million project, and it's probably 3 or 4 years away, so it is a longer term solution. But the general consensus is some very timely leadership by our representative up in Topeka, and Destry's constant desire to improve the safety in that area. And KDOT stepped up with some solutions that we thought we could work with this time, and it looks like that's going to be a much safer area. And I just want to recognize the fact that it is coming, and that there were some people that did some heavy lifting to make that happen that we should be thankful to. So with that,
Consistently thankful for Representative Murnan's leadership and ability to get stuff done,
well said.
as well as you
Well
guys'
said.
willingness to go along with her.
You bet.
Cool.
Darrell, I had a question.
All the leader. Yes.
Had a question this week from a longtime JC member, which was an organization in town that is no longer in existence, big baseball fan. The concern was, what's going on with JC's ballpark? Is the turf, his concern, is that happening this time of the year? And I said, I don't know, I'll find out. Like,
What's going on at
Is it a
JC's?
good time to be doing it? Is it gonna be, are we doing that now? I said, I don't know, I will ask.
Absolutely. We don't have any January baseball tournaments. This is the time to do
But the
it.
weather's not gonna throw the turf, or he has concern with the,
Oh, no, it's turf. I mean, it gets
It's fine.
rained on, snowed on.
so the base and everything could be
The
fine
turf that
doing
was
it.
in there for, I don't know, 15, 20 years. I mean, it's artificial turf. That's what it is. So, yeah. Well, what we're about to find out with our 5 road projects is there's no good time to do any improvement ever.
Sure,
But this is the best time to do the turf repair. So, yeah, that's the window we picked. If it was 2 years ago or last year, there wouldn't have even been anything. But, yeah, it shouldn't affect it. It just takes time out of the schedule to wait for everything to blow off, clear off, or melt. But
All right.
no, it'll be great when it's done.
If there are no other non-agenda reports or requests, I will take a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to adjourn. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion passes.